Hi viewers, today I will be featuring a brand that I have never shown before on this channel. They are classed as a micro brand and they are called Monta. Now when you say micro brand, you kind of think of relatively low value watches which are decent but not completely flawless with corners being cut. But I would not put Monta in that category. This is probably the highest quality micro brand that I have come across, and therefore maybe the tag micro brand is a bit unfair, I'm not sure, but they are a small company. They were founded in 2016 and they are American based, but the watches are Swiss made and they have their own in-house team making the watches. So let's take a look at this one. I must say the presentation is fantastic. Comes in a beautiful wooden lacquered box, very smart, dark blue, and this model is the Monta GMT Skyquest, and that really is a beauty. First impressions are great. I mean, this is very similar to the Tudor box that I have. Nice velour interior, got a pouch here for the paperwork. Nice little booklet and the warranty card. All very smart indeed. So it feels very high end already. Let's just go over the specs quickly on this watch. Okay, the case size on this is 41mm. The lug to lug is 49mm. The thickness is 12mm and the lug width is 20mm. Now as you can see, this is on a leather strap. The original one does come on a superb, very high quality steel bracelet. This is actually a used watch and the seller did not have the original bracelet. They had a rubber bracelet which was nice, but I have actually got a brand new Monta branded leather strap for this watch. And it really is a great fit for this. See, it curves into the case and is a very high quality leather strap. Made by Everest, I believe, that make straps for Rolex. I would love to have this on the bracelet, but it wasn't available, so I got a very good deal on this because of that. But I will maybe eventually try and get the bracelet from Monta. But for now, I think it looks great on this leather strap. Now the retail price for this currently, this particular Skyquest, the gilt one, is on their website at $2,190, which is pretty steep for a fairly new unknown brand, but I have to say the quality is there. For me it feels equal to Tudor. I have a Tudor watch that when I hold next to this one I can't really see any drop in quality, build quality. The same with the Breitling and Tag Heuer. Maybe not quite up there with Omega, but it's not far off. It really is very good. Feels high end, great fit and finish, great build quality and a nice design. Now this obviously is a GMT watch and it's powered by, according to Monta, they call it the caliber M23, but it is actually a modified Sellita SW330, and you can see the movement because they have an exhibition case back. Very nicely decorated with some perlage and Cote de Genève. I think this particular model might be a limited edition because it does say 344/500, which I presume is 344 out of 500, but I'm not certain on that. There's no information on the website regarding this particular watch, which is a bit strange. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's limited because I don't see many with this gilt dial and the gilt markings on the bezel, but that goes really well with the dial. Now for a GMT watch, this has a very good, impressive water resistant rating of 1,000 feet, which is 304 meters. Being an American brand, they measure it in feet first, so that's why it's a bit of an obscure number for the meters. Now on the markers, the hands and the pip at the 12 o'clock, they're all filled with Superluminova BGW9. And as you'll see a bit later, the Lume is very impressive. The bezel has a ceramic insert, and as I said earlier, the markings are all in gilt, but it is etched into the ceramics, so it's not printed. Another sign of quality. The bezel action is very nice. It's an unusual 72 click bezel, but really solid. No play at all, very, very firm, and lines up perfectly. The crown is signed. It is a screw down crown and nestles nicely in between these crown guards. Initially, because of that, it's a little bit hard to grip, but this is where you can tell the quality of a watch is in the crown. It's always a good telltale sign, and this crown really, the threading is perfect. It's so silky, no grittiness at all, feels really slick and pops out. Very solid, nice pop, and the action is really slick, silky smooth. And then you just change the date, turn it towards you to change the date, and then away to change the GMT hand, and then just screw back in. Nice to see a screw down crown on this. As you can see, the GMT hand is kinked, which is quite unique, and the reason it is kinked is because then it can reach right out to the end of the dial and pass over the markers without actually hitting them, because that would be no good. And as you can see, the GMT hand points to that chapter ring, or to put it properly, the Rihal in a ring there, which is printed with gold numerals, and it looks great. Then you've got the red indices in between. Now, one of the cool features on this watch to do with that in a ring is, if you look at the bezel markings, the numbers hit the indices on the Rihal and make up for where there is no number on there, and where there's no number on the bezel, you see the number is printed on that inner ring. So you've still got all the digits just alternating between the dial and the bezel. That's quite a good use of space, actually. Very effective. Now, the finishing on this watch really stands out as super high quality. The polishing is beautiful on the sides, really nicely done, and then the lugs, the top of the lugs has brushed polishing, then the chamfered edge, beveled edge is polished as well. The bezel, really nice chunky coin grip, and we have an anti-reflective sapphire crystal, but as you can probably tell, it's not terribly anti-reflective. I've seen much better AR coating on other watches. That's the one letdown on this watch. That doesn't really stop the reflections that well on this watch. The coating could be a lot better. But other than that, as I said, the fit and finish is really fantastic. Look at that polishing on the side. Superb. Very nicely done. The casework on the back is all brushed. There's no polished areas at all. Now, I've been reading quite a lot about Monta in the last few months, and that's one of the reasons I got this watch, because I think it was well worth featuring on this channel. They are a new brand, but they really are head and shoulders above a lot of the other micro brands. However, they seem to be getting quite a bit of bad press from your average troll, shall we say, online. There are a lot of people bashing Monta as being overpriced and overhyped and not worth the money, no better than anything else that's in the $400 category for a micro brand. But as is nearly always the case with these types of people, they're just basing their opinions on what they see online, on pictures and videos, but they've never actually held the watch in their hands. Not one negative comment that I've read has come from someone that actually owns the watch or has handled the watch. So, in my opinion, they're not really qualified to say anything like that. The watch isn't perfect, but nor is Tudor or Tag or Breitling or even Omega. I mean, there's always going to be some flaw in a watch that someone could find. However, I think compared to other watches in this price bracket, around about the $2,000 mark, they are just as good, if not better, than the competition. It's still expensive, but I still think most brands are probably overpriced. It's all to do with the marketing, and the average member of the public or the average watch enthusiast isn't too keen on spending that kind of money on a brand that hasn't got the prestige of a Tudor or a Breitling or a Tag. But then they're missing out. So as I say, I think they're equal to those brands, and if you want something a bit different, then there's no harm in going for something like this. And actually, even on the used market, they fetch close to retail. There seems to be a lot of demand for these watches, so there is a lot of love out there for them, and that's probably people that are a little bit more clued up. Now, I've mentioned Tudor a couple of times. That's because in my mind this is probably the best comparison. It really does feel similar to a Tudor watch in quality and fit and finish, and even looks. Even the presentation is like Tudor. And a brand new Tudor watch with this spec will cost twice this. So you could argue that $2,000 is quite a good price. But based on my experience so far, I am very impressed with the brand. And I have experienced service from Monta firsthand. I ordered this beautiful leather strap from their website all the way in America, and it got here to London, UK in just under 3 days, which is fantastic. So yeah, I am suitably impressed. Okay, I'm going to put it on the wrist now, show you how that looks. Yeah, I love that. Really looks very classy. That leather strap hugs the wrist perfectly. I do like it when it integrates with the case like that. Really fantastic. Very, very comfortable. It does feel a little bit bigger than a 41mm, but it is relatively slim, and the lugs curve down nicely, so it does sit well on the wrist. I love this strap. I just think it's a little bit of a shame they didn't sign the buckle. They've stamped their branding on the inside of the strap, but didn't see fit to putting it on the buckle, which is a shame. Not a big deal, but would have been good. Anyway, that is a great looking piece in my opinion. Excellent. Okay, now I will just show you how that Lume looks. Yeah, that's fantastic. Really super bright, really good. I love BGW9, love that blue look. Really lasts a long time, very bright. Glad they loomed the pip as well, and the second hand. Excellent job, really good that. Okay, before I finish, I'll just zoom in on that dial. As you can see, the printing is super crisp, really, really sharp. I love the gilt edge on the markers. Really expertly done. Fantastic craftsmanship. It's when you zoom in and look at this dial in detail like this, you really appreciate the quality and what makes this quite a special micro brand. I mean, that really is fantastic. The detail, the finishing, the printing, everything is just absolutely perfect. Look at that bezel, the etching in the ceramic there looks great. Super sharp. I really do like the combination of gilt on a black dial with then a little bit of red as well. Those three colours just combine so effectively, so appealing. Lovely warm tones, just so cohesive, really works well together. Wonderful, really good stuff. There we see the crown again signed, very well inscribed with their insignia there. Just look at that polishing. Really flawless. Just look at that movement. Excellent. Really nicely decorated. Yeah, very well done. That is a very beautiful, classy looking dial. I really do love that. I think they've done a fantastic job. I'm not usually a big fan of gold on watches, but when it's done like this, it just looks stunning and very classy, extremely high end. Beautiful, I love that. Really very impressed. Okay, well that's it. That is the Monta GMT Skyquest. A truly remarkable watch in my opinion. A very well made, stunning looking piece. Fantastic fit and finish. And a great one to have in your collection. I really do rate the brand, and I'll be looking forward to maybe getting another one day, maybe the Ocean King, which is a dive watch. Another beautiful piece. So yeah, I am very impressed with Monta. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.